Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. Bring in part 3 of What If Jaune Arc was betrayed and became Megatron. Link in the description of the fanfiction of this What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this is not a scam. Chapter 5, Lisa. Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Lavender, reporting to you live with breaking news. Last night, witnesses say they spotted a giant robot causing death and destruction all around Vale. The camera footage, which is being filmed in the sidewalk, shows Demolisher passing through the streets of Vale, destroying any vehicle in his path as explosions erupt all around, causing widespread panic in the streets. Lisa, we have footage of the mechanical being wreaking havoc around the highway, and witnesses say they saw another mechanical being causing chaos in the streets. It now shows Demolisher making a mess in the highway, with it now showing sideways destroying a bridge and throwing cars off using his mines. Lisa, and wait, what's this? It appears that a group of individuals can be seen going after what appears to be another one of those machines. We got word from what's left of the Vale Police Department and found that no huntsmen were sent to deal with this. We are still finding out who those girls are and will apprehend them for questioning. For now, this is Lisa Lavender coming to you live from. The screen turns off, now revealing that Ozpin, alongside Goodwitch and Ironwood, are in his office, discussing about the events that happened last night. Ozpin, James, please report to me what happened all across Remnant. Ironwood, of course, Ozpin. After investigating the numerous locations, we have concluded that over a dozen bases all over Remnant have been destroyed. In Solitas, almost all of our Atlas military bases have been destroyed, with even a couple of dust mines gone. Same goes for the base back in Mistral. There was nothing we can salvage and all personnel are dead. Goodwitch, as in no one at all. Ironwood, yes, even those in the Mistralian Navy did not survive. Not a single soldier made it out. The Mistral Council reported to us that they lost the entire naval fleet, even majority of their shipping companies are gone. Goodwitch, the same can be said for the Vale Police Department. Almost all of the police were taken out in one night. Ironwood, Winter even reported majority of the supplies we brought in were all destroyed. Goodwitch, just what is going on? These attacks all happened in a span of a day. Ozpin, do you think this was her doing? Ozpin, I am not sure. Salem would do something like this. But according to the reports, several eyewitnesses stated seeing no Grim at all during these attacks, and the incident in the highway already proved it. Ironwood, or she could be in league with these metal beings. Ozpin, that is a possibility as well. Goodwitch, speaking of the highway incident, what do we about Team RWBY and those two students from Haven? They were all over the news, and what they did is an act of vigilantism. They caused a lot of civilians to be killed in the crossfire when they were chasing after Torchwick. Ironwood, who apparently died when that thing crushed him to death. They said it didn't hesitate to do so, and from what Ms. Schnee told us, the giant metal being said their leader is targeting them. Ozpin, I see. With this new information, we may have a new enemy at our hands, and one that may have allied themselves with Salem. Once Qrow is back from his mission, I will need him too. And on cue, Qrow arrives in Ozpin's office, but in a frantic manner. He crashes at the window before flying back around and crashing again. Having enough, Goodwitch goes up to the window and opens it as Qrow finally makes it in, transforming back into his human form, and collapses to the ground in exhaustion. Ozpin, Qrow, I know your semblance is bad luck. But can you please not? He stopped talking when he saw the state of Qrow. He is very injured right now, with his right arm bleeding profusely. Ozpin, Glinda, get the medkit now. Time skip. After they patched up Qrow, whose entire right arm is now bandaged. They had him sit in the couch as he began drinking from his flask. Ozpin, now that you are all patched up, I take it you are eligible enough to recount what happened to you that allowed you to get to this state. Qrow looks at Ozpin, before closing his flask and putting it away. He gave out a sigh before he told his side of the story. Qrow, before I even got here, I was able to patch myself back in Mistral and saw the news about the attacks. Ozpin, yes, we are still trying to figure out if it is Salem's doing. Qrow, well, tough luck. 'Cause it ain't. Their eyes widen at that. What do you mean this is not Salem's doing? Ironwood, what do you mean? Do you know who's responsible for this? Qrow, I don't know, but I know where their base is and how I got this big-ass injury. New Count, a few hours ago. In new Decepticon fortress that Megatron has now dubbed, New Count. This was where the Dragon Continent used to stand and has now turned into the Decepticons' fortress. This location is heavily armed and fortified. Nothing will get through their defenses. In the ocean perimeter of the continent, a wall was built in order to keep trespassers out and is guarded 24/7. Dozens of Decepticon ships patrol the skies and the Nemesis hovers on top of the main HQ. In the numerous platforms leading to the buildings, a Qrow can be seen flying to one of the towers and transforms into his human form. This is Qrow Bronwyn, who happened to stumble upon this base and is documenting it for Ozpin. He looks around, seeing squads of Decepticons patrolling the fortress. He can even see dropships in the sky flying around. This place is very well guarded. Qrow, damn, just what the hell are these guys? He quickly brought out his scroll and began recording whatever he can of the Decepticons' fortress. As he is doing so, he hears a voice call out to him from behind. Well, what do we have here? The minute he heard the voice, Qrow froze. He slowly turns around and was met with a humongous robotic figure looking down at him. His yellow visor glows as his height towers over Qrow. This is the Decepticon, Stockade. Stockade. You're not supposed to be here, insect. Since I'm stuck on guard duty, might as well take this chance of crushing a puny insect like you. Qrow. Aw, shit. Immediately Stockade raises his arm and slams it to the ground where Qrow was. For the first time ever, Qrow was lucky enough to dodge it by rolling out of the way and turns back into a Qrow, flying out of there as quick as he can. Seeing this, Stockade transforms his arm into his weapon and aims it right at Qrow, firing shots that almost hits the bird, one narrowly missing him by an inch. Qrow was scared shitless cause the shot nearly took out half of his left wing. Stockade. Hardtop, we got an intruder. He turned himself into some kind of small winged creature. I'm sending you the target location, take him out for me, will ya? In a watchtower that overlooks a quadrant in the Decepticon fortress. Hardtop can be seen watching over the area, when he got the transmission from Hardtop. Hardtop. Roger that, Stockade. I have eyes on the target. In his HUD, the target systems have Qrow, who is still on his Qrow form, locked on. Hardtop equips his long-range weapon and aims it right at Qrow. He has a good shot and is ready to take it. Hardtop. Goodbye, human filth. But before he could even pull the trigger, Starscream's voice can be heard in the comms. Starscream. Delay the order, Hardtop. Soundwave here has just informed me that our little intruder is part of the targets on Megatron's list. Leave him be and let him return to his kind. We will know what they are planning once he reports back to his leaders. In the bridge of the Nemesis, Soundwave, who has just returned from his mission, has just finished briefing Starscream on the data he has retrieved, even informing him about the special list of targets. Hardtop. Understood, Starscream. He looks towards Qrow flying away from New Count as he heads back to Beacon to report this new threat to Ozpin. Hardtop. You got lucky this time, insect. But whatever Lord Megatron has planned for you. You'll wish I'd taken you out, the minute I had my sights on you. Beacon Academy, Ozpin's office. Qrow. So yeah, that's what happened. All of them were shocked at what they learned. Some kind of new faction has arrived in Remnant and took over the entire Dragon Continent. What made it even more shocking was they're all robots. Ironwood grits his teeth in anger. Now he knows who are responsible for the destruction of his bases and is ready to attack them with force. Qrow sees his reaction and immediately commented on it. Qrow. Jimmy, I know what you are thinking. But don't even try it. Ironwood. But Qrow. These robots, they destroyed every single base Atlas has in our disposal, basically leaving us defenseless. Qrow. It's already obvious why they did. These guys are preparing something big and I'm afraid it may destroy all of Remnant. Ironwood. Then we need to retaliate as quick as we can before these robots attack. Goodwitch. And leave the entirety of Vale defenseless. I'm sorry, James. But you are the only defense we have for the kingdom. You leave with the army and get destroyed, then there is nothing left to protect. Ironwood. But we need to do something. Anything. Ozpin. How about we negotiate with them? All of Ozpin's inner circle look at him with disbelief. Qrow. You serious, Oz? You want to negotiate with them? Ozpin. We have to try, Qrow. We need to know what this unknown faction plans to do, and once we have said information, we will come up with a strategy to fight against them. We do not know what or who they are, Qrow. This is our only chance of getting answers. Ironwood, fine, but if something were to happen, I will have my forces attack their base. Qrow, still a bad idea, Jimmy. Ozpin, right now, our main concern is to find these robots around Vale. James, I want you to increase patrols all around the street. I would usually disagree with this method, but the citizens need to feel safe. I will have Glinda contact more huntsmen to protect the citizens. As for you, Qrow, you will continue scouting out the city and contact me if you found any of these robots. Qrow, you got it. Ozpin nods, but could only sigh at this new problem. But he is not the only one facing the same dilemma of the Decepticons making a mess of all things. Arc Clan compound. In the main compound of the Arc Clan, they are still fixing up the damages after the attack caused by Ravage and Reedman. But right now, all of the elders and a couple other members of the Arc Clan are having a discussion regarding the events that occurred the other day. Elder Arc 1, so we lost everything. Bells, indeed, we got reports from multiple compounds that everything was destroyed and not a single survivor was found. We sent members of Kronos to track them down, but found they disappear the minute we even get there. LC, we even lost majority of our supplies from the shipping company. The Mistral Council is getting word about the security of the kingdom. That attack in the Navy destroyed nearly the entire fleet. We are still salvaging what's left of the fleet, but the extent of the damage is basically broken beyond repair. Liam, we already heard rumors about robotic beings appearing all around Remnant. Do you think they are the ones responsible for this? Elder Arc 3, if they are, then our best course of action is to retaliate back with force. Elder Arc 2, indeed, they made a mistake attacking our clan. Bells, but the question is, how exactly do we find them? No doubt these robots would not want to be found. Mason, then we scatter our forces. Have the rest of Kronos led search parties for these robots and capture them. If you've seen the news reports regarding Vale, that giant robot with a wheel has caused numerous amounts of damage to the city. Imagine one in our disposal. Elder Arc 1, indeed, we would be unstoppable. Elder Arc 2, all the more reason to find these robots and capture them. Mason, I will inform the rest of Kronos about this and get our forces ready. Mason alongside Bells head out of the council chambers, leaving only Liam and LC Arc. These two are John's former grandparents, since he was disowned by the Arc clan. LC, I don't like this, Liam. It makes sense that this unknown faction is targeting Atlas and Mistral due to the Navy and all that. But why target the Arc clan? Why target all our compounds and resources? Liam, from what I can speculate, it can be one of our old enemies we have faced a long time ago and returned to exact his revenge. LC, I have a feeling it's not. Has Jade reported in about the hack that happened a few days ago? Liam, she has, and it's not good. Jade said whoever hacked our system stole everything. They knew exactly what to target, and what makes it worse is we tried to track down its source and found nothing. LC, nothing at all. Liam, yes, but there is one thing that baffles me. When we were looking for the source and hopefully find the location of this hacker, it caused our systems to go haywire, causing the entire Arc clan network to shut down. Once that happened, all we saw was this symbol. Liam shows LC a picture of the symbol that was shown to the Arc clan. It wasn't the logo of the Decepticons, but Qrow Morse, and it's covered in blood. LC, Liam, do you think it's? Liam, I don't know, we saw him die and we saw the clan burn his body into ashes and spit on it. I'm certain that John is dead, he shouldn't be alive. But whoever is doing this, I intend to find him and get some answers. LC watches as Liam leaves the room, now having a new goal. To find the leader of this unknown group and get answers. Because unlike the rest of the clan, he and LC supported John. But unknown to them, Megatron is watching their every move and is eagerly waiting for the Arc clan's destruction. Vale, MT. Glen. In the outskirts of MT. Glen, an Atlas cargo ship can be seen flying towards the city of Vale. Due to the incident of Demolisher and Sideways causing numerous amount of destruction in the city, Ironwood and the Atlas Council offered to help repair the damages caused by these metal beings. But in reality, this was just a ploy for them to find more information about these metal beings and see if they can use their technology for Atlas needs. Inside the cargo storage room are over a dozen construction vehicles that the Atlas Council and even Jacques Schnee provided. He believes that with him assisting the repairs of Vale, Jacques can persuade them to accept more of his business dealings. After all, he did contribute for Vale's reconstruction. As the cargo ship continues to fly in the air, a projectile comes crashing in and hits one of the construction vehicles. The projectile is revealed to be Ravage as he hides from the Atlas workers in the room. After that, all of the vehicles start up on their own, with a symbol being shown in different parts of the vehicles. They all have the Decepticon symbol. Suddenly, around 7 construction vehicles start moving once they see the area was clear of Atlas personnel. Then they start to transform and jump out of the cargo ship. The first is Ravage as a small growl can be heard when he jumps down. After him is a Volvo EC700C crawler excavator that transformed into the Decepticon known as Scrap Metal or Z1. After him is a Maximet mixer that transformed into the Decepticon Mixmaster. The next is a Caterpillar 992C front loader that transformed into the Decepticon known as Scrapper. The next is a Caterpillar D10N bulldozer that transforms into the Decepticon Rampage, who uses his drill-like foot to jump and spin towards the ground. After him is a Komatsu HD 465-7 articulated dump truck that transforms into the Decepticon Overload, who uses his multiple legs to get into a stance and jump off. Next is a Kobaleco CK 2502 crawler crane. It transforms and his robot mode literally towers over the entire room. He is known as Hightower. And finally, the last Deception whose vehicle mode is a Caterpillar 773B dump truck transforms. Like with Hightower, his height towers almost the entire room. He is the Decepticon Long Haul. The 7 of them all jump towards the land, making a large thud and cracking the ground beneath them. From there, Long Haul activates a hologram from his arm, showing that the rendezvous point is close by. The Constructicons traverse the ruins of Mt. Glen, avoiding the grim hordes that plague this land, but knowing the Decepticons, they are eager to fight the grim. Mixmaster, why do we have to wait this long to meet with the others? I want to smash these grim into pieces. Scrapper, yeah, the ones back in base said these guys are nothing, but informed us the much larger ones can actually give us a challenge. Rampage, there's a horde right there. We can take them out now. Hightower, finally, some action. Long Haul, are you all out of your mind? We are under strict orders not to attack the Grim until we reach the designated spot. Overload, and how close are we even? All we see here is nothing but ash. Long Haul, close, I can see the ground bridge up ahead. The Constructicons quickly made their way to the ground bridge where they were met with a squad of Decepticons that will assist them in this operation. First we have Sideways, then the other is what you would say a clone of Blackout. The difference between Blackout and this one is the height in the vehicle. He transforms into a CH-53E Super Stallion helicopter and his height is around 50 feet. He is the Decepticon known as Grinder. The other Decepticon with them is a clone of Demolisher, with the difference being his color scheme. By that I mean his entire color is all red with a few white markings all around. He is the Decepticon known as Scavenger. Mixmaster, it seems this new ground bridge has been proven useful to us. Scavenger, tell me about it. It's way easier for us to travel than waste all that energon going from place to place. Grinder, indeed, but enough of that, do we have the location of this base? The one owned by a group known as the White Fang. Sideways, we do. Soundwave gave us the exact location and tasked me, Ravage, and Scorponic to eliminate all humans or how they call them, Faunus. Mixmaster, and what will you have us do? Sideways, Lord Megatron wishes for you to eliminate all of these so-called Grim in the area. He wishes to establish a base here for the time being. Rampage, good, I've been itching to destroy something. Let's go. They watch as Rampage jumps his way out of there, followed by the rest of the Decepticons. Grinder, Lord Megatron wants this base as soon as possible. Do not fail him. Sideways, of course. Sideways transforms into an Audi R8. Ravage jumps on the back of the sports car as it takes off to the mountain area of Mt. Glen. Inside the caves of Mt. Glen lies a White Fang base. The purpose of this base is to load up as many fire dust as they can and create bombs out of it, so they can use it to blow a hole in Vale to let the Grimm in. But right now, that plan has gone to a halt. Adam, what do you mean we are halting the plan? Adam Taurus, who is not happy right now, can be seen talking to his contact on his scroll. His contact being one Cinder Fall. Cinder, if you didn't see the news, Roman is dead and those robots are the ones responsible for this. Let me remind you that whatever these robots did, destroyed our plans. All of the Atlas tech Roman stole has been destroyed and apparently all other Atlas bases as well. Whoever is doing this, wishes to leave the kingdom defenseless. Adam, which can give us a perfect opportunity to strike. There is nothing that can defend the people of Vale. Why not take this chance, Cinder? What's the reason why we can't? Cinder, I want to investigate these robots and what they are planning to do in Vale. There's a reason why they did those attacks and I want to know. Right now, I want you to evacuate what's left of your forces and head back to the warehouse. Do I make myself clear? Adam, TCH, Crystal. As he ends the call, the cave starts to shake and small bits of dust and rubble fall from the ceiling. Adam stands up and looks towards the exit of the cave, now realizing what is going on outside. Adam, they're here. Outside the caves, all across MT. Glen, the Constructicons are wreaking havoc. Mixmaster jumps towards the ground and turns himself into a gun emplacement artillery. From there, he fires the railgun, blowing up large hordes of Grimm one by one. Protecting Mixmaster are Scrapper and Scrap Metal, they charge in towards the Grimm. Scrapper fires rockets, blowing up large chunks of them, then uses his grappling mace, spinning it around as he sends hordes of Grimm flying. Scrap Metal on the other hand, uses his claws to grab any Grimm he can find to rip them to shreds, while using the cannon to blow them up. Scavenger can be seen using his giant wheels to run over the Grimm and turn them into roadkill, while using his arms and slamming them to the ground, causing explosions of dust and rubble to fly out. Rampage comes in and uses his drill-like foot to crush them into pieces, while firing shots using his Cybertronian laser blaster. In another area, Hightower comes in and uses his giant wrecking ball to send the Grimm flying. The same can be said for his campaign in Crane. Hightower uses it to grab the Grimm and throw them away from his position. While Overload gets swarmed with hordes of Grimm, but he isn't afraid. He uses his multiple arthropod pincher-like claws to rip the Grimm into shreds. Overload uses the hook in his arms to grab the Grimm and then uses the claws to rip them in half. The Decepticon laughs while doing this. Meanwhile, Longhaul fires his flamethrower to burn the Grimm into crisp. He also uses his grenade launchers by firing them up in the air. They reached a few meters from him and explode any Grimm that tries to get close. Longhaul sees a swarm of Nevermores flying towards him. He aims his missiles located in his arms and fires, blasting the Nevermores into pieces. And finally, Grinder comes in and uses his energy wave launcher, sending out a shockwave that disintegrates the Grimm into ash. He deploys multiple mini-turrets that provide cover fire as Grinder unleashes projectiles from his wrist-mounted Gatling gun and fires out missiles, destroying anything in his path. If the Grimm get too close for comfort, Grinder uses his helicopter rotor blade, shredding them into pieces. Grinder, Sideways, we are almost done clearing out this infestation. What's your status? Sideways makes his way to the entrance of the cave and uses the cliff to drive off the land, transforming in the air, landing on the ground below. Sideways, I've arrived at the objective marker. The area is clear, inform Soundwave to send in my reinforcements now. Grinder, understood. Ravage scouts up ahead towards the entrance and began sniffing out the White Fang. Meanwhile, the ground bridge opens up and Sideways is met with a Western Star 4900 SF tow truck that transforms into the Decepticon, Onslaught. Onslaught. About time you showed up. Been itching to rip these insects with my claws. Sideways. Shut up and you'll get your wish. Now come on, we need to secure the mountain before any of these insects found the Energon or the relics. Both of the Decepticons now proceed inside the entrance of the cave. Time skip. After a couple of minutes, the two Decepticons were able to spot Ravage overlooking a large entrance that leads to an area of the cave. The two slowly moved to where Ravage is and got a good look at the place. Sideways. There. He points towards the table and it seems the White Fang found of the relics. But it's still in its capsule, which means they haven't found a way to open it. Sideways. The humans have the relic, no doubt they already mined the energon. We need to take them out at once. Onslaught. With pleasure. Onslaught equips his claw hand, while Ravage can be heard growling. In the White Fang base, Adam ordered his men to pack all of their gear and supplies, telling them they will leave empty. Glenn and head back to Vale. When all of a sudden, multiple missiles fly out, hitting the White Fang soldiers and sending them flying. It even hit one of the dust barrels, which caused a huge explosion that caused the ceiling to collapse in an area of the cave. Adam, damn it, they're here. How did they get past the hordes of Grim? Ravage comes in and fires his twin rocket launchers at the White Fang, while also firing his minigun. Onslaught came in the base, firing more rockets. Onslaught, you need a bigger door. Taking this chance, Sideways quickly burst through the base and headed straight for the table, firing his plasma sniper rifle at the White Fang, turning them into nothing but ash. If they even try to get close, Sideways uses his saw blades and slices them in half. He makes it to the capsule and removes the cover, grabbing the relic inside. What he has in his hands looks to be some sort of gauntlet. He smirks and is ready to unleash this on the White Fang. He is now in possession of the Polarity Gauntlet. Sideways, I'll have some fun with this. He sees the White Fang firing their weapons at them, as Sideways activates the Polarity Gauntlet. Orange holographic lining appears all around Sideways' right arm. He aims the gauntlet right at the White Fang. Once he activates it, the gauntlet unleashes a wave of orange energy. Anything that is metal, glows with orange energy. That includes the train carts, the metal towers or platforms, and the White Fang's armor. With even Adam's katana being pulled towards the gauntlet, he quickly stabs it to the ground and held on. Sideways uses the gauntlet to lift the metal up in the air and stuck them all together into a large sphere. The White Fang soldiers try their best to move, but can't due to their armor sticking to the metal. Sideways, Onslaught, all yours. Onslaught finishes off a group of White Fang using his laser machine gun. He looks towards Sideways and sees the sphere. He smirks and aims his radial rocket launcher at them, then fires. The shot literally blows everything into pieces, even the White Fang that were stuck there. Seeing the one-side slaughter, Adam looks and sees Sideways isn't using the gauntlet and quickly took out the katana from the ground, then takes off out of there with what's left of the White Fang. But on their way out, a robotic scorpion burst from under the ground and attacks them. This is Scorponic. Scorponic uses his tail stinger to grab a Faunus and throws him around like a ragdoll. From there, he uses his hand blaster to dispose the White Fang as Adam charges at Scorponic with his katana. The screams of the White Fang echo out in the caves as Sideways and Onslaught head for the exit. There they met with the rest of the squad. Mixmaster, were you able to secure the area? Sideways, yup, even found this. Luckily those insects didn't bother to open the capsule. We were lucky they didn't mine any energon. Onslaught, we only saw the fuel source on those crates. They're called dust or something. So it isn't useful for us. Sideways, but at least I got to use this. I wonder if Lord Megatron will allow me to keep it. Long haul, I highly doubt that. The relic that Shockwave found is still resting in the vault and we can't afford to lose that to the humans. Grinder, indeed, I will contact the Nemesis and report of our progress. Lord Megatron will be pleased with this. In the Nemesis, Megatron is watching Soundwave type at the main console on the bridge as they look at all the info they got from the hack. They were able to listen and see all the calls, even the messages sent by everyone in Remnant. Soundwave, Lord Megatron, we have a transmission from Grinder. Soundwave presses a button as Grinder's voice can be heard on the screen. Grinder, my lord, we secured the entirety of MT. Glennon wiped out all lifeforms in the area. Sideways was able to acquire a relic and is in possession of it as we speak. Megatron, I see, excellent work. The dropships will arrive and drop off the supplies. Have Sideways keep the relic in his hands for now. Should he lose it, he will have to deal with a greater punishment. Is that understood? Grinder, yes, Lord Megatron. The transmission ends. Megatron walks closely to the screen to see a series of messages that interest him. Megatron, Soundwave track the source of that scroll and send a team to negotiate with these humans. I have a feeling an alliance with them will help us take care of certain obstacles in this planet. Soundwave, affirmative, Lord Megatron. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of Vale, it is now the dead of night is up in the sky. 3 meteors began making their way down the large river and crashing to its waters. An explosion can be heard, but it was muffled by the water. 4 bright lights can be seen moving underwater and heading straight for the city of Vale. From there, 4 Cybertronanes rise up from the water as the one with an angular face spoke, his red eyes lighting up in the dead of night. Nightbird, search the island. Report back to me if you find anything of interest. The one to his right, now named Nightbird, flies off using their jetpack. Meanwhile, the leader walks towards the land alongside his 2 companions. He is known as Scourge, the leader of Terrorcons. Scourge, it seems Unicron has granted us another chance of life and transported us to a whole new world. Well then, let's see what this place has in store for us. But unknown to them, another meteor crashes in the city of Vale, with a protoform exiting off the destroyed building. The protoform looks around, seeing the city of Vale, before asking this question. Where am I? How am I alive? Chapter 6. Vale. Docks. It is now the dead of night as the docks are now empty as all the workers left for home. By the entrance, 2 vehicles can be seen driving through the fenced entrance. The first vehicle is a red and black Plymouth GTX, while the other is a blue and black AMC Javelin. They drive around the docks until they reached one of the warehouses that was marked in their HUD. From there, they kept watch of the occupants inside the warehouse. Mercury. So, what? We dropping the plan and heading out of here? Cinder. No, we are not. We will have to improvise. Mercury. And how are we going to do that? Mercury jumps off the crate he was sitting on, taking a glance at Neo, who appears to be sharpening the blade of Hush, eager to find the ones who killed Roman and slice their throats off. Cinder. We let it all play out. As far as I know, we lost Roman, half of the White Fang and even the base back in MT. Glenn. Before we lost contact with Adam, he informed me this unknown faction may have destroyed the entire Grim population in the mountain, and with this hack in the CCTS. I don't think the virus Watts gave us will work. Emerald. And we can't use the robots due to all the Atlas bases being destroyed. Cinder. Indeed, if all else fails. We will return to Salem and inform her of this third party being an obstacle to her plans. It will save us from her wrath. Mercury. I can sense you have another plan. But you are unsure of it. Cinder. Worst case scenario is we find these robots and make a deal with them. But before any of Cinder's pawns can say anything, they look towards the entrance of the warehouse to see the 2 vehicles from before, heading inside. All of them got their weapons ready, while Neo went somewhere in the warehouse, ready to assassinate them. The group was ready to attack them, but were shocked when this happened. The 2 cars transformed into their robot mode. Cinder, Mercury, and Emerald stepped back as the 2 Decepticons stood up from their positions. The red Decepticon, who has jet parts, is known as Shatter, and the blue Decepticon with the helicopter parts is known as Dropkick. The reason why they have different vehicle parts is because they are known as triple changers, Cybertronanes who have 2 alternate modes. Dropkick whispers to Shatter about the humans he is seeing in front of him. Dropkick. The humans look pathetic and weak. Are we really doing this? Please, just let me kill them. Shatter. Not yet. Lord Megatron has plans for these humans. Follow my lead. The 2 Decepticons finish whispering as Shatter faces Cinder and kneels towards the ground. Shatter. Greetings, we are warriors of the Decepticon cause. We patrol the galaxy in search of a home, and we just so happen to find this planet as our perfect target. Dropkick. Are we really doing this again? Unbelievable. He sighs as Dropkick kneels down to the ground. Shatter. We overheard your conversation and noticed you need help acquiring something in this Beacon Academy, yes? Cinder. Indeed we are, but what exactly are you here for? If you heard our whole conversation, what can you give us? Shatter. A way to get to that academy. Cinder looked towards Mercury and Emerald, then glances at Neo, who is still hiding by the crates. Dropkick. Tell your little friend to come out. We can see her in our scanners. Cinder nods and gestures Neo to come out, and she reluctantly does. Her face full of anger right now. These are the people responsible for Roman's death, and Cinder isn't giving her a chance to kill them. Cinder. And what can you give us? We already have a way to get into an academy. What can you give us that can be beneficial to our cause? Shatter. An army. Our leader, Lord Megatron. A metal part in Shatter's gauntlet opens up and began showing a hologram of their leader, Megatron. Neo stares at the hologram, gripping her umbrella. So this is the one responsible for Roman's death. She'll wait for the perfect moment to strike. Shatter has created a base all across Remnant, one in the Dragon Continent, one in Menagerie, and now in the ruins of MT. Glenn, you should know by now, we are the ones responsible for the attacks in numerous Atlas bases across Remnant. Cinder, so it was you that attacked the highway. Shatter, more like our warriors did that. Lord Megatron wanted chaos and fear towards the people of Remnant, we gave it to them. Cinder, I see, and the hack was your people as well. Shatter, indeed, we have access to the entire network of Remnant. Even going as far as placing a virus in their so-called advanced network. Dropkick, this Atlas claims their network is very advanced, yet it was easy for us to get through their firewall. How arrogant of them, this world is more primitive than the one planet we went to. Shatter, like I said, our leader wishes to destroy Vale and I know you need something in this kingdom. You need us, Cinder, and you can't deny it. Cinder began thinking about this, while Mercury decides to make a snark comment. Mercury, and what if we say, no? You tin cans don't look so tough. Laughing can be heard from Dropkick as he equips his deatomizer, aiming it right at Mercury. A small light erupts before Mercury was turned into adhesive liquid. The gooey liquid splatters around the warehouse. Dropkick, I like the way they pop. Emerald and Neo watch in shock and bafflement that they killed Mercury without any hesitation. Cinder looks to Shatter, who is waiting for her answer. Shatter, so, what is your answer? Cinder, fine, I accept your proposal. Shatter, good. Now then, Cinder, tell us everything. She nods, while Shatter gives Dropkick a nod as well as an evil smirk. The two Decepticons head inside the warehouse as an alliance has been formed. Timeskip. In the streets of Vale, Barricade can be seen driving around the road. From what Soundwave told him, he found a Decepticon signal that appeared in the city of Vale, and since Barricade is already in the vicinity, he was sent to find the signal. Barricade tracked down the signal and ended up in a parking lot filled with buses. He slowly entered the parking lot, activating his sirens. Barricade scanned the area, closing in on the Decepticon signal. From there, he stops in front of a bus that is parked in the area. Then Barricade proceeds to transform into his robot mode and equips his mace, the weapon hitting the ground, causing a crack and debris to fly out. Barricade, identify yourself. Now. Transit. My name is Transit, I was sent here to this world out of nowhere after I was terminated. From my memories, I was sent to Earth to hunt down and destroy any Autobots I can find. I fought against Optimus and perished, then ended up here. Barricade. I see. So you're one of them. Transit. One of what? But before Barricade could answer, a voice calls out to him. Barricade. You're alive. Hearing the voice, Barricade aims his weapon at the sound and out steps out a bot he has never seen before. But looking at the symbol on his chest, it is a Decepticon logo. The Decepticon is named Create a Bot. Yes, that is his name. Barricade. Who, in the name of Cybertron, are you? Create a Bot. You don't remember me. Barricade. I don't even know who you are. What was your mission on Cybertron? No, on Earth. Create a Bot. I was sent to Earth to look for the Allspark under the command of Starscream and was ordered to assist you in operations. Barricade. I see, and were you successful in retrieving the Allspark and freeing Megatron? Create a Bot. Yes, we even freed Megatron from his icy tomb. But knowing the backstabber, Starscream. He stole the Allspark from us, even as far as taking out you and Blackout. Luckily, Megatron and I dealt with Starscream and got the Allspark. Barricade hums in thought. If he recalls, he had been forced off the road by Ironhide and drove into a roadway bridge pillar, knocking himself out. Then his fate was sealed in the Battle of Chicago, where he perished alongside his Decepticons against the humans and Autobots. So he is the same as Transit over here. Question is, he shows disdain mentioning the names of Megatron and Starscream. Barricade. I want to see your memories. From how you arrived in Earth until your death. Create a Bot. Sure. He follows what Barricade says to do and presses a button on the side of his head. A red laser shots out as a memory plays in hologram form. From there, Barricade saw everything. He appears to be under the command of Starscream. He watches as Create a Bot arrives on Earth, specifically Las Vegas, to locate the origin of a Decepticon distress beacon, which he knows as Megatron. Starscream then fobbed him off onto Barricade, who he can hear in the comms reluctantly showed Create a Bot the ropes. During that time, he fought several Autobots, and scanned a pickup, and drove to the location. Barricade went to take note of a certain ability he has which can be proven useful for their cause. Create a Bot then met Barricade in Tranquility. Barricade revealed that the signal came from Megatron, who Create a Bot dismissed as a relic, and received a slap for his insult. Barricade. It seems Starscream's influence must have gotten to him. No surprise there. He continues looking through Create a Bot's memories and he sees him rooting out an Autobot in Tranquility. They later discovered that the Autobot, Bumblebee, was investigating a lead about a frozen, giant metal man. Barricade headed off to deal with him as Create a Bot communicated with Starscream, telling him Barricade wasn't forthcoming, and mentioned the metal man in the Arctic. At first, little information was divulged to the other Decepticons until Starscream arrived on Earth himself. Barricade. Of course, Starscream would keep these things to himself like the treacherous Decepticon he is. Create a Bot was later put in charge of the other Decepticons in the Middle East. After the other Decepticons left Create a Bot to his own devices, Starscream finally arrived on Earth, personally greeting Create a Bot by nearly landing on him. Finally explaining his motives, in his own ass-backwards Starscream way. Barricade watches as Starscream lied through his teeth, saying that releasing Megatron would cause the downfall of the Decepticons, and that the Allspark was actually on Earth, which it was. He then explained, lying again this time, that he simply wanted the Allspark to prevent a power struggle as he would need his full attention on preventing Megatron's revival. Hearing that, Barricade couldn't help but laugh at this Starscream's claims. He watches as Starscream got a hold of the Allspark, but Create a Bot had already helped to liberate Megatron from his icy tomb and led him back to Tranquility, where the Decepticon tyrant and his new second-in-command would face off against the traitorous jetfighter. Starscream used the power of the Allspark to power himself up to new levels and attacked Megatron. Outwitting the empowered Starscream, Create a Bot stole the Allspark from him and smashed Starscream in the chest, weakening him enough to have his spark extinguished by Megatron. But then Barricade now saw why Create a Bot shows disdain towards Megatron. He sees the kid's spark almost fading and is pleading with Megatron to get him repaired. Create a Bot. We did it, Lord Megatron. But Barricade, and the others. Megatron. If they were truly Decepticons, they would have survived. Weakness is a rust that must be stripped away. Just like you. Create a Bot. What? But I helped save you. Megatron. Yes, but you are heavily damaged. Create a Bot, but could be repaired. Barricade watches as Megatron rips the spark out of Create a Bot. Megatron. A waste of resources. The weak only serve to benefit the strong. He watched as Megatron transforms and flies into the night sky, never to be seen again. That's when the memory ended. Apparently this Megatron saw him and everyone else as nothing but pawns, a weakness to his reign. All that they have done for him, and he threw them away like they were nothing. He will have to convince Create a Bot that this Megatron is different. How perhaps? Both Soundwave and Shockwave revealed something inside of Megatron is making him different, and they believe whoever this Jaune Arc is the cause of it. Barricade. So Megatron saw us as nothing but pawns for his conquest of the galaxy. Create a Bot. If you expect me to follow his orders or Starscream, you got another thing coming. I am not going to be treated as useless pawn. Not this time. Barricade. Don't worry, kid. Our Megatron is different from yours. Something in him changed and we want to know what it is. Create a Bot. Wait, what do you mean change? And what do you mean by your Megatron? Transit. You never answered my question from before. Barricade. Alright, that. We believe you two are what we would say, an alternate timeline or a different universe. Similar to Shatter, Dropkick and Blitzwing, you probably belong to an entirely different universe. While you, on the other hand, kid, came from a different timeline. Create a Bot. I see. Barricade. The same can be said for some Decepticons who perished early on in the future. Examples of them are Onslaught, Dreadbot, and Nitro Zeus. Transit. So, what happens now? Barricade. I'll contact Soundwave and request a ground bridge. We'll get you settled in back at the Nemesis and show your story to Lord Megatron. Create a bot. Absolutely not. You think I would serve under him after what he did? And don't get me started on Starscream. Barricade. Trust me, kid. This Megatron is not like the one you know. Whoever or whatever sent us here, changed him and you will find out more soon enough. He then transforms back into his Polixir car and activates his sirens. Barricade. Come on, Soundwave has gave me the coordinates of the ground bridge. I'll explain more on the way. The two Decepticons watch as Barricade drives off. Transit looks at Create a Bot, before transforming into his alternate mode and driving off. Create a Bot could only sigh in annoyance, transforming into his alternate mode, which is a pickup truck, and following them. Unknown to the three Decepticons, a customized Oldsmobile 442 can be seen parked in the street, watching the whole time. Once they saw the area was clear, it starts its engines and drives off out of there. Vale. Docks. Besides Shatter and Dropkick, Scourge and his minions have also taken refuge in the docks, hiding at one of the warehouses. Scourge looks towards the entrance as he sees the muscle car from before enter the warehouse and transforms into their robot mode. He is the Terrorcon, Bloodhound. Scourge. Bloodhound, report. Bloodhound. I've scoured the streets of this planet and encountered 3 Cybertronians. They are Decepticons. Scourge. And what did you find? Bloodhound. Apparently, the Decepticons have built numerous bases all around the planet. One is in the mountain area of this city. I also learned that the 2 Decepticons the police car encountered came from an entirely different universe. But worst of all, Megatron is here on this planet. Scourge. I see. Interesting. Anything else? Bloodhound. No, the Decepticons are keeping it low for now. But their base they are constructing in the mountains is heavily guarded. Battletrap. Nightbird has yet to report about her findings. Scourge looks to the voice behind him and sees another one of his minions. He is known as Battletrap. Hearing what Battletrap said, Scourge contacts Nightbird on a status report. Scourge. Nightbird, report to me on your findings. Nightbird. Nightbird, I found something you'll be very interested in. I'm sending you a portal to your coordinates. Battletrap. And how exactly are you going to do that? His question was answered, when a green portal opens up on the warehouse. The portal being very similar to the ground bridge the Decepticons are using right now. Scourge enters the portal without hesitation, followed by Battletrap and Bloodhound. Once they exit the ground bridge, the Terrorcons ended up in the canyons of Vacuo and were greeted with a Decepticon ship that appeared to have crashed in the canyons of the planet. Scourge. Let's move. Nightbird must be inside the ship. The 3 Terrorcons head inside the wreckage of the ship. From there, they continued their way into the hallways until they reached what appears to be a control room, filled with consoles and lab equipment. There, they see the Nightbird working on the console. In the screen we can see multiple Cybertronian texts that appear to look like a set of coordinates. Scourge. Nightbird, what can you tell me about this ship? Nightbird. This ship is known as the Harbinger. It was a Decepticon's transport ship that carries a prototype weapon. Scourge. And do you have this weapon in your possession? Nightbird. I do. She went up to the table and picked up a weapon that is a staff, but upon closer inspection, the weapon glows a bright green. Nightbird walks up to Scourge and hands it over to him as he inspects the weapon. Nightbird. I looked at the archives on this ship and this weapon is known as the Immobilize, an experimental Decepticon weapon that was supposedly being transported to Megatron on board the Harbinger, and apparently was shot down. The weapon and cause instant stasis lock, though the victim remains fully conscious. Scourge. I see, a very powerful weapon at the right hands. Tell me, Nightbird, are there more weapons like this on board this ship? Nightbird. No, I checked the manifest and only found the immobilizer in the ship. Although, all the systems are still functional and it gave us a map of energon mines we can mine. But this one is what keen my interests. She went up to the console and types in the keyboard. From there, coordinates appeared on the screen, showing the Cybertronian relics that are in Remnant. Nightbird. Apparently this world houses relics like this all across the land, and we have their exact location. Scourge. I see. No doubt the Decepticons have retrieved a few of these relics. We need to make sure we retrieve them before they do. Let's head for this one. Nightbird, prepare to send us to that location. Nightbird, understood. While Nightbird works on the ground bridge, Scourge look at the data logs to find if anything on this ship will interest him. Meanwhile, Cinder has finished telling Shatter and Dropkick of their plan to initiate the fall of Beacon. So far, Shatter believes this will prove useful for Megatron's plans. Shatter, from what we can gather, your plan of stealing this Fall Maiden power can work with ours. As Megatron plans to reveal his presence to all of Vale during this vital festival. So when our forces attack, it can give you the chance to get what you want. Cinder nods, she watches as Shatter talks to someone in her comms. Shatter, Soundwave, we made contact with the humans and have formed an alliance. What is our next course of action? Soundwave, bring them into the Nemesis, Lord Megatron wishes to speak with them. But keep our true intentions hidden. Once we acquire what we need, Dropkick has authorization to dispose of them immediately. Shatter, you're in luck, our glorious leader, Lord Megatron, wishes to speak to you personally. Dropkick, be glad you get this chance, Insect. Lord Megatron isn't too keen on meeting the lifeforms of this planet. Cinder, of course, I am grateful for this opportunity. She glances at Neo, telling her to not do anything stupid. Cinder knows she wants to kill the person who killed Roman, but she isn't going to let Neo's revenge ruin her plans. Neo can only glare at Cinder for not letting her do what she needs to do. The ground bridge opens up in the warehouse as Dropkick enters first. Shatter gestures Cinder and her crew to enter. They all glanced at each other for a second before reluctantly entering the ground bridge. New Count, the Nemesis. In the hallways of the Nemesis, both Shatter and Dropkick led Cinder and her crew to the bridge. Emerald went over to Cinder and whispers to her. Emerald, Cinder, are you sure this is a good idea? I don't trust these guys. Cinder, what choice do we have, Emerald? We already lost Roman, the White Fang, the Grim is all gone, and the hack is impossible thanks to them. The Mistress won't be too happy about our failures. But she will be interested in this alliance once we report back to her. Emerald, and do you think we can trust them? Cinder, they'll backstab us eventually, but once I acquire the Fall Maiden's powers, I will be unstoppable against them. As they continue walking, the group came across two Decepticons in the hallway, Bonecrusher and Brawl. Cinder and her group were surprised these Decepticons tower over Shatter and Dropkick by a few inches. Bonecrusher, newbies, why do you have these insects with you? More so the fact they're walking in the halls of our ship. Dropkick, I hate that nickname. Brawl, isn't as bad as Barricade calling that new guy in the bridge, Rookie. I prefer to call him Runt. Shatter, to inform both of you, Lord Megatron wishes to speak with these humans regarding an alliance. He states it will prove beneficial to our plans in destroying this kingdom. These humans have the same plan as well. Both Bonecrusher and Brawl got the idea. Brawl, I see. Just make sure they put in their end of the bargain, wouldn't want to be stupid enough to cross Lord Megatron. Starscream did and paid the price. Bonecrusher, yeah, he did. Cinder and her crew watches as the two leave. Shatter gestures them to follow her. Once they reach the entrance of the bridge, the doors open and they were met with Megatron speaking to Barricade, Transit, and Create a Bot. From what they can tell, the talk is almost over. Megatron, I assure you, I won't discard as how your Megatron did to you. Create a Bot, I'll see it to believe it, Megatron. All that effort we did to bring you back and retrieve the Allspark. Yet you discarded us like we are nothing. Megatron, and I will prove it to you one way or another. But once I do, will you serve under me as you have done before? Barricade watches this conversation with interest and curiosity. The Megatron he knows would have ripped the spark out of Create a Bot the minute he spoke ill of him. But right now, he didn't. Barricade looks to Soundwave and sees he has the same thoughts as well. He will have to speak to him about this matter in private. Create a Bot, very well. I'll give in to your demands, for now. But I won't hesitate to attack Starscream once I see him. Megatron, of course, the treacherous leech is no doubt plotting something to overthrow me again. You have my permission to make an example out of him. Create a Bot nods, as Megatron turns towards Barricade. Megatron, Barricade, since his memories showed he has worked with you to retrieve the Allspark and had a unique feature in his systems. He will work with you in surveilling Beacon and monitoring our targets. As for you Transit, you will join them in this operation. Transit. Of course, Lord Megatron. I won't fail you. The three of them bowed before heading right to the exit of the bridge, with the three taking a glance at Shatter and her group. Barricade. Is this them? Shatter. Yes. Barricade nods, exiting the bridge. Shatter leads Cinder and her group towards Megatron. Once Cinder got a good look at Megatron, she was shocked by the size of the Decepticon. She thought Shatter and Dropkick were giants, but Megatron literally towers over them. Neo, on the other hand, removed all logical reason in her mind and is tempted in killing Megatron right here, right now. But Emerald stops her from doing so. Megatron. So, these are the humans we are planning to work with, Shatter. Even the voice sent shivers down Cinder and her group's spines. Shatter. Yes, Lord Megatron. Apparently they also wish to destroy Beacon and the kingdom. But our interference has caused their plan to be delayed. Megatron. Ah yes, that. My soldiers have made quite a mess on this city. To the point it is defenseless. One strike in this city will be nothing but rubble. But Shatter told me you wanted something in Beacon, yes. Something very important to you. Cinder. Why yes, I mean Lord Megatron. There is a power in that accursed academy that I wish to acquire, a power that rightfully belongs to me. Megatron. I see, and do you believe that if didn't interfere with your plans, you would have successfully retrieved said power? Cinder. Yes. Megatron can be seen humming in thought for a few seconds, before he spoke. Megatron. And if we do help you retrieve this power? According to what we learned in this planet, you work with a woman called Salem, yes. Cinder was absolutely shocked hearing this. How did they know about Salem? Cinder. Why yes. Megatron. Good. Then I'm sure she would love to have talks about an alliance with the Decepticons. After all, she has her own plans for this world and we are, let's just say we Decepticons, eager to help. Cinder. I see. I believe she will allow this alliance if you prove to her that you can accomplish her tasks. Such as retrieving that power lying underneath the academy. Megatron. Of course. We will. Don't underestimate our needs as we won't let a single human stand in our way. He began laughing out loud in the bridge, which made Cinder uneasy, Emerald freighted, and Neo not caring while ripping her umbrella. Megatron. Shatter, Dropkick, I will send a squad of Decepticon drones that will assist them in their little operation. The Dreads will also be assisting you. Once the Vital Festival hits, we begin our attack. Now go, before I change my mind. Shatter. Understood, Lord Megatron. She ushers Cinder and her crew to leave as they exit the bridge. Once they're gone, Megatron spoke with Soundwave about their next phase of the plan. Megatron. Soundwave, have you located the castle of this Salem? Soundwave. Affirmative, Lord Megatron. He types in the keyboard and shows the location of Evernight Castle, located in the Grimlands. Apparently, they knew of Salem from the archives. It showed a detailed description of Salem and her special powers. It even stated a relic can kill her, but they have to find it first. Megatron. Those fools don't know that we plan to destroy Salem. She will be an obstacle for our rise to power, and with this alliance, this gives us the chance to strike her in the heart when she least expects it. She knows we will betray her, but we will get the last laugh. He looks towards Soundwave for his report. Megatron. Soundwave, have we confirmed the relics are in the 4 academies? Soundwave. Yes, Lord Megatron. He presses a button in the console. The screen now shows what appears to be a metallic rusted key. Megatron. Ah, yes. The Omega keys, 4 of them ended up in the 4 academies and Ozpin does not know of their existence. With this, we can use these keys to power the Omega lock. The screen now shows schematics of the Omega lock. They were found in the archives of the Nemesis. Alongside it was a supply of resources to make it. Although, the schematics gave out coordinates to a certain type of energon that keen Megatron's interest. Megatron. Once the construction of the Omega lock has been finished and are in possession of the 4 Omega keys, we will cyberform Remnant into our new home. One rule